This week, we're going to return to our Argo multiple choice book. This is actually the last week that we haven't done in this book, and this is going to be a review of the coordinate plane, which we started working on last week. So we are on page 116. This is week 19, day 1. I'm actually going to start today by showing you this image here. This is a complete coordinate plane. This year in 5th grade, we're only working in this quadrant. We call this quadrants because there are 4 sections. So in 5th grade, we work in quadrant 1, and quadrant 1 has all positive integers. When we start working in some of the other areas, as you will next year, you're going to notice that we have numbers with values less than 1. So those are negative integers. So I just wanted to show that to you because you'll notice in this picture here, it looks a little different than the work we did last week. So I wanted to make sure we understood that picture. Okay, I'm going to delete this. And then we're going to get started with question 1. So the first 5 questions, we're going to refer to this coordinate grid or coordinate plane to answer them. Number 1 says, what are the coordinates for point A? Well, in order to find that, or any coordinate, we're always going to start with the origin. The origin has a coordinate pair of 0, 0. And last week, we learned that the origin is right there. So there's the origin. And what you're going to do is go right first to find the x coordinate. So we're looking for point A. We're going to go over 2 units to the right. And then we're going to go up our y-axis 3 units for our y coordinate. So A is located at 2, 3. So the correct answer is B. Point A is at 2, 3. Let's look at number 2. We're looking for the x coordinate for point B. So point B is right here. How many units away from the y-axis is point B? 4 units away. So there we are. It's got an x coordinate of 4. Number 3, which 2 points have the same x coordinate? So if we're looking for an x coordinate, we're looking here. Remember, that moves away from the y-axis. And we could see that both B and C lie an equal distance away from the y-axis. So they both have the same x coordinate. So that would be points B and D. Number 4. Which 2 points have the same y coordinate? So if we're looking for the y coordinate, going up our y-axis, and that's moving away from the x-axis. And we could see that points B and D are the same distance away from the x-axis. They both have the same y coordinate of 3. So that's A and D. Number 5, which point is located at 6, 3? So remember, we're going over 6 to the right, 6, right, then up, rup. And up 3, and we see that point D is located at 6, 3. Okay, so that takes care of our coordinate plane questions. Now, number 6 is a review question, and this is a scaling question. If you recall earlier this year, we learned about scaling. And scaling means that if you multiply a number, so if we multiply, say, n times 1, the answer is always the same. If we multiply n times a number less than 1, so let me just say, all right, 2/3, that's less than 1. The number would be less than n. The value of n goes down. If we multiply a number greater than 1, so let's say that's 4/3, then the value of n goes up. So that would be the number would be greater than n. So there we go. Kind of weird way to show that. All right, so let's look and see what's happening here. We're multiplying 4/5 times 6. So 4/5 times 6. So let's just think about that for a minute. I know that the value of the 6 is going to decrease. That's going to have a product that is less than 6. But if we were to flip that around and say, wait a minute, what if we inverted that? In this case, now 6 is greater than 1, so 4/5 would increase. So that product would be greater than 4/5. So let's look at our answer choices now that we've thought about that for a few minutes. So A says the product is greater than 4/5, but less than 6. I think that's what we just talked about right here, but let's move on to make sure. The product is less than each factor. Well, that's not true because here we see the product decreasing, and then if we flip that equation, then we see this factor increasing. The 6 makes the 4/5 go up in value. So that's definitely not true. The product is equal to one of the factors. That's not true because we're not multiplying by 1. The product is greater than each factor. Well, both of these are not going to increase in value. So when we go back to A and look at that again, the product is greater than 4/5. Well, that's true because when we multiply this, we know it's going to be greater than 4/5. But we also know that it's going to be less than 6 because this 6 is going to go down and this 4/5 is going to increase in value. So the correct answer for that is A. Okay, don't forget to submit your Google Forms.